Let's see. All right, good games came online. All right, Facebook, very good. Twitch, slow as ever. Twitter online, YouTube online, DLive online, and Twitch is the slowest always. Always waiting on Twitch. All right. We are online. Good morning, peeps and poops. Good morning. We're going to continue our Sunday Bible stream. So last time we left on, it was like Genesis 13:14, which described that that area around Sodom and Gomorrah. So there were like other kingdoms, and I'm not sure how large these countries were, or these kingdoms were. They could have been city-states. They were all at war. So before the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing, Sodom and Gomorrah were involved in like a regional war. And it was, some big drama. Okay, some big drama there. So, and I did not know that. I did not know that. I thought Sodom and Gomorrah was just, you guys are really dirty, so you gotta go. Well, there's a backstory. Okay, that were involved in a bunch of wars. And Abraham got caught in that regional war because he was like a shepherd. But not just any shepherd. He was like a shepherd, like CEO. Okay, he was like shepherd of shepherds. So he was a shepherd that had a bunch of shepherds. That makes sense. Okay, and his flock was just expansive, and it was just huge, and you have to move, right? Because all the sheep and all the goats are gonna just eat everything. So you need to continually move. And the other thing that I remember is that Lot, which I think was the brother of Abraham. I don't remember. Anyway, his he also had like a huge flock, and he had like a bunch of shepherds. So the shepherds of Abraham were fighting with the shepherds of Lot. I mean, not physically fighting. It's just like a lot of disputes. They don't get along. So Lot, so they're like, hey, I don't like us fighting. Why don't we go separate ways? And then, so Lot went the separate way from Abram. Abram went the other separate way, and then this war happened. And then Lot, I guess, was captured by, one of the forces involved in the war. And Abraham had to go and rescue him. So pretty cool stuff, I would say. All right, so I used the sticky thing. Okay. Abram blessed by Melchizedek. Use the sticky for that. All right, let's continue. After his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer, by the way, Chedorlaomer was like one of the leaders in an alliance of kings that was against the alliance where Sodom and Gomorrah were involved. And the kings who, after the return of the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom, see what I'm saying? So Sodom is a city, so how can it have a king? Shouldn't it have a mayor? Well, here's a historical thing. So before there were, titles of mayor, governor, basically just mayor and governor. Everything was king. Okay. So, if you had a city and the city was self-sustaining, they produce their own food, they do their own thing, they were not part of, of a larger state. So there wasn't a mayor, it was a king. So you were, that city was run by a king. And of course, if you had like a larger state, say like a county, and there was somebody in charge of that, it wouldn't be, they wouldn't call that a county, which by the way comes from the word count. It's like usually a count would be the one that was in charge of a county, okay? Like Orange County, right? So everything was king, right? So you could have a king in charge of a town, something as small as a town, to as large as a country. Okay, so that's how that makes sense. Anyway, all right. The king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shaveh, that is, the king's valley. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High. And he blessed him and said, okay, so the king of Sodom met with Abram. Because Abram just got done rescuing Lot from that war, that regional war. So he came out, and then this other king, Melchizedek, which was a king priest, I guess. Yeah. He was priest of God Most High. Okay. So those three guys, they meet, and they're going to have a feast because the war's over. They won. Well, it's not that they won, but the alliance where the king of Sodom was, not Gomorrah. Gomorrah's not mentioned in this war, just Sodom. Anyway, that side won. Abram, he was neutral. He just Lot got caught in the war. He got captured, so he had to go out and rescue him. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm sorry, I forgot. So Abram, now that I remember, I guess he took some of his employees and gave them like military training, because it wasn't like a covert operation. It wasn't like a night operation, like stealth, to rescue Lot. This was like move in with some forces, okay, kick some ass, and go get your brother out. I think that's his brother. I don't remember. Anyway, this king priest, Melchizedek, is going to bless Abram. And he said, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted my hand to the Lord, God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take a thread or a sandal strap or anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. I will take nothing but what the young men have eaten, and the share of the men who went with me. Let Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre take their share. Let me read that again because there's a life lesson right here. All right, so Abram gave Melchizedek, the king priest, a tenth of everything he had. And then in this meeting, remember that there's like three people. That's Melchizedek, there's Abram, and then there's this king of Sodom, which weirdly enough, they don't give us his name. They gave us the name of all sorts of people, but not this guy. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself. Okay, so they're talking about war loot. Okay, they're talking about war loot, spoils of war. That's what they're talking about. So the king of Sodom just wants to take people, and well, he's trying to strike a bargain with what's his name, with Abram. Try to get an agreement. It's like, okay, I'll take the people, you take the stuff, you know, the weapons, provisions, all that stuff, and I will, you know, take all the prisoners and everything else. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted my hand to the Lord, God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, that I would not take a thread or a sandal strap or anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. All right, guys, this is the life lesson right here. So, Abram doesn't want to take any of the spoils of war. Okay. He doesn't want to take any of the spoils of war. Because here's what I think. The king of Sodom. So he was one of the kings on the alliance. Abram, the guys that he trained for military, you know, they couldn't be that great. They couldn't be that professional. But the ones from the king of Sodom were, because they were involved in that war. And as a properly established city, properly established city-state, you would have professional soldiers, but not Abram. So when he says, I will not take anything that's yours, he is crediting the king of Sodom with the victory. He's like, you won, all these spoils are yours. And then when the king of Sodom says, okay, I'll take all the prisoners, you can keep all the stuff, all the, all the weapons and everything else. Weapons, provisions, materials, whatever. So Abram's telling him that he has made a promise. He raised his hand to the Lord. He made a promise that he will not take anything that was his, that was, the king of Sodom. Because he doesn't want the king of Sodom in the future to say that he made Abram rich. So you can kind of take that lesson in a wider perspective. Let's say that somebody is offering you some money to start a business. Okay. So here's the thing. You can take the money, but then that person can say in the future that they made you rich. If it works out, they can say that they made you rich. Right? So basically, that your victory is not really yours. See that? Your victory is not really yours because they're the ones that provided the funding. Okay? So, or even it could be something as simple as, just somebody giving you, just like a bunch of money. Could be an inheritance. Could be winning the lottery. Well, with winning the lottery, I wouldn't count that because that's not an actual person with a name giving it to you. That's a organization, corporation, you know what I mean? Nobody's actually saying, okay, here's my name. I'm this person. I'm going to give you $60 million. But it's very interesting that how he wins, how he reaches success, it's more important than actually reaching the success. Okay? Because right now, they're in a battlefield. There's plenty of wealth to go around. And he could, and he just, actually he lost wealth because he gave 1/10 to this priest king. So that, he could become rich. But then what matters most to him is, how did he get rich? See what I'm saying? So how you get rich, well, it matters a whole lot. So to me, that's very interesting. Okay. And, some people would say, oh, well, that doesn't matter. As long as you get rich, that doesn't matter. Well, think about this. It's actually easy to get rich. It's actually easy to make money. All you have to do is be willing to sacrifice your dignity and your humanity. Okay? So let's say you become rich by prostituting yourself. Just say that. Or you become rich by stealing from people. Okay. Well, maybe not just people in general, but you become rich by scamming old ladies out of their retirement. Let's just put that. Or old people. It's not just like an old lady thing. Okay. You got an old guy that he worked really hard all his life. Now he has a menial passive income in his old age, and you scam him out of it. So you can prostitute yourself, but that would be sacrificing your dignity. You can steal old people's or scam them out of their life savings. That would be sacrificing your humanity. And yeah, you can become rich. So this passage here, it matters more how you get rich than actually becoming rich. Okay. So of course, a lot of people don't care, but those people are not good people, right? But it is actually easy to get rich. What's hard is to get rich legitimately. That's what's hard. Okay. So he told him that. I will take nothing but what the young men have eaten, and the share of the men who went with me. Oh, okay. So he's letting his people take shares from the spoils, but not Abram himself. Let Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre take their share. I forgot who Eshcol and Mamre were. I guess those are people in Abram's camp, I guess. He wasn't talking about the kings. Anyway, the gist is that, he wants to give shares to, like, when he talks about not accepting any of the spoils from the king of Sodom, he's just talking for himself. Like everybody else, they put in the work, they can go ahead and get their share, but I'm going to bypass. So it takes somebody with like real dignity, with really solid dignity to do that. God's covenant with Abram. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great. But Abram said, O Lord God, what will you give me? For I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, you have given me no offspring, and a member of my household will be my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. This man shall not be your heir. Your very own son shall be your heir. And he brought him outside and said, Look towards heaven and number the stars, if you are able to number them. Then he said to him, so shall your offspring be. And he believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness. And he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess. But he said, O Lord, how am I to know that I shall possess it? He said to him, bring me a heifer 3 years old, a female goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Turtle dove? I gotta look that up. Turtle dove? The hell? Here, I'll put it here for you guys. Look at this thing. The turtle dove. It's a type of pigeon. Why is it turtle dove? Is it because the body kind of looks different than the... I mean, I guess it kind of could look like a turtle shell, but why is it called turtle dove? Doesn't have a shell or nothing. Turtle dove's Latin name is Streptopelia turtur. The second part from the bird's soft turtur call. Possibly because biblical references, Song of Songs, and the turtle doves, and because the birds form strong pair bonds. They become cultural emblems of devoted love. How the turtle dove gets its name. The name turtle dove is commonly applied to the other Streptopelia species. Use of the term turtle and pigeon common name is derived from the sound of its call. The bird has no association with shelled reptiles. But why is it called turtle? Oh, okay. Because the Latin name is Streptopelia turtur. Turtur is the name it makes, but it's also the name for turtle in Latin. Because of the band on the neck, it looks like it can... I don't see that. Paywall. Go away. Why is it called Turtle Dove? Show me. Oh, if I click out, they won't show me the article? Okay, I can play that game too. Check this out. I'm gonna show you guys a trick. You see this stupid stuff? First, never accept cookies, okay? You dismiss that. Boom. You get this stupid thing right here, okay? I'm not gonna pay you nothing, okay? Look, right click, inspect element, okay? You see all this? You see this code that is highlighted? Boom, press delete. Okay. Oh, we didn't get it. Okay. Click on another place here. Boom, inspect element. You're trying to get what this means in the code, right? And then you're going to delete it. Because you got to remember that websites are... What you're seeing right here, it's not the actual website. Okay, this is a copy of their website in your computer, which means that the code is on your side, which means that you can, play around with the code. That's how you're able to, a lot of people take screenshots of things that people didn't say. This is how they do it. Right click, inspect element. Shoot, sorry. Inspect element. There you go. Boom. Then exit out of it. Let's just say where you're at, blocker. Yeah. Away. Oh. Oh, okay. So, all right. So the reason it's not working is because you see right here in the background. So they haven't loaded the article. Okay. They haven't loaded the article. But usually what happens with these type of things is that they have the article back here and then it's being blocked by this. And what you do is that you remove the inspect element and then you can read the article. But they have come up with, with a new method to paywall their information. And I haven't yet learned on how to beat it. So, very simple solution. Go somewhere else. There you go. The name is derived from the sound of its call. The use of the term turtle in this pigeon's common name is derived from this. Oh, see, there you go. So turtur is the same as turtle in Latin and how it sounds. Okay, like an imitation. Turr, turr. So that's what it is. All right. Well, good to know. That's why I do these streams, so I can learn, right? All right. So the animals that he wants him to bring. Let me see. It's about to. Okay. So Abram does, refuses from King of Sodom. God wants to reward him. Okay. And he says, well, I don't have any sons. All my stuff is going to go to one of the members of my household. God tells him, no, it's going to go to your son. As a matter of fact, he says, I'm going to do you extra. It's going to be your descendants are going to be as numerous as the stars. Count them. So let's see. Bring me a heifer of 3 years old, a female goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, cut them in half. Oof. and laid each half over against the other. And laid each half over. But he did not cut the birds in half. And when the birds of prey came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. So he took the cow, the goat, the ram, and he cut them in half and laid each half over against the other. So I guess you would split it, right? You would split it and then here. Here. Got some scratch paper here. Where's my pen? Pen, where art thou? There you go. So you could have the thing, and then this would be let's say this is the RAM. Okay, it's the RAM, like so. And it has the legs, and then here's where he cut it by half, and then this is the other half. I guess this is what he means. I mean, I really can't imagine, you know. Like some sort of tail or something. So I guess, well, you guys can't see that. It's too light. It's too light for you guys to see. Let me see. There you go. So I guess he would just lay down each half like on the ground with like the gut side facing each other. And there would be like a space through here. That's what I imagine. I don't know. Maybe next time I need to do, like MS Paint, and that will be a little bit better. Okay. So he cut down those, but not the birds. And I guess it had to be sitting there for a long time because, excuse me, you would have the scavengers come down to try to eat the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram. And behold, dreadful and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to Abram, know for certain that your offspring will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and will be servants there, and they will be afflicted for 400 years. By the way, just in case you didn't know, sojourner means somebody that is staying at a certain place temporarily. It's kind of like a traveler, right? So, like hobos are sojourners. Okay. Okay, so he's giving him a prophecy. Okay. But I will bring judgment on the nation that they serve, and afterward they shall come out with great possessions. As for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age, and they shall come back here in the 4th generation. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. Okay, so he's basically giving him the whole roadmap. Like he already knows that, you know, people are going to mess up. He already knows he's going to give judgment. He already knows all that stuff that's going to happen. When the sun had gone down and it was dark, behold, a smoking firepot and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. So those are the animal pieces. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your offspring I give you this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the land of the Kenites and the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim. Rephaim was one of the kingdoms in that war alliance. I remember that. The Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. Okay, so basically all the land from the Nile to the Euphrates, which actually, that would actually split Egypt by half, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Abram promised land map. Abram promised land map. Okay. Open image in a new tab. Okay. It would split Egypt by half. Yeah. And it will split Iraq by half too. See, look. Let me save this image. It'll be better. Again. Let me get another window here. You guys can see. Oh, it's not letting me do photos. That's dumb. I'll do a window or display capture. There you go. Oops. So see? It would split Egypt by half. Look at that. So this right here, go over. So Tigris and Euphrates. So this line right here, this is the Euphrates. The other one is the Tigris. And Mesopotamia used to be here, between these two rivers. Right now, it belongs to Iraq. Okay, well, that's interesting. All right. Okay. All right. So, I guess the animals were to, to do the covenant, because it was more customary to enter these covenants, which were basically verbal contracts. it was customary to do it with like a ritual, basically. So that's where, for example, the blood. Have you ever seen like in ancient movies and stuff? Like they cut their palm, like the two dudes go like this, and like now we're brothers. Or the mafia. The mafia still like has a ritual for their new people where they stab their finger and they let drops of blood. So all that stuff is like ancient customs of you're entering a contract, this non-verbal contract, and I guess the ritual makes it more meaningful by making it more dramatic. Like here, he got all these animals. Actually, you know what? He didn't kill the or I don't know if he killed it. He didn't seem to kill the turtle dove and the young pigeon. Just the goat, the cow, and the ram. So he sets it on the ground. God thigh facing each other, I guess. And then at night, he walks through with a pot and a torch, a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch. So that's to solidify that promise. Okay. So, all right. Sarai and Hagar. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. She had a female Egyptian servant whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, "Behold now, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Go into my servant. It may be that I shall obtain children by her." And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. Yeah, I bet. I think the God king of Canaan told Abram to sacrifice his son, who he told was the key of the future of the family. To sacrifice a goat Baphomet. Hey, what's up, Beef Squad? How you doing? Well, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm still under the like the covenant that he made with God. I'm still like right there. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see ahead. All right, so I guess Sarai knew about the covenant, and maybe she felt bad, and now she's like, okay, well, go sleep with my servant Hagar, because she's trying to maybe like figure out how she's gonna have a kid if all these years she hasn't had any. And then Abraham said, okay. Okay, I'll do that. It's all right. But just trying to figure out. She's just trying to, to help him out. Okay, so and Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. So after Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian, her servant, and gave her to Abram, her husband, as a wife. And he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, she looked with contempt on her mistress. Oh, okay. So basically, now that she gave Abraham a son, she thought that she could usurp the first wife. And I mean, women as a whole tend to be like really territorial with each other. Okay, which is why men rule the world. It's true. Don't come at me. And Sarai said to Abram, May the wrong done to me be on you. I gave my servant to your embrace, and when she saw that she had conceived, she looked on me with contempt. May the Lord judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarai, Behold, your servant is in your power. Do to her as you please. Oh my God, I thought that she was Abram's second wife. Then Sarai dealt harshly with her, and she fled from her. I'm telling you, man, drama. I hate drama, bro. This is what happens. You see this? It's nothing new. This is not something that got conceived with Jerry Springer. It's human nature, man. So she gave her a dirty look. She didn't like it. Okay. And she tried to put it on Abram. Abram washed his hands. She's like, hey, don't look at me. That's your servant. Even though she took her as a wife. He bounced back the ball like a paintball. Hey, that's on you. That's your servant. You do whatever you want with her. That's not my problem. Wow. And then, I guess she dealt harshly with her, and then she had to run away from the house. Lots of sexual thing happens in the Bible. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know specifically. That's what I've heard. And also, like, there's like little like snippets, but I finally decided to, read it by myself. Even though like some people say, oh no, that's not the best version. Well, this is the version I have, and a version I could understand. I actually bought a King James version, and with that medieval English, I could only understand like 70% of it. And it wasn't very good. Like, for example, they used the word meat to refer to actual meat and to refer to food. Okay. And with that old grammar and old English, I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's just not, oof. I can't understand it. Only way to understand is by reading. Yeah. All right. So she deals harshly with her. Big argument, big drama, big Jerry Springer show situation, which I hate. I hate gossip and drama and all that stuff. So Hagar just left. Actually, not left, fled from her. The angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness. The spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? So she was alone in the wild with her little kid. I am fleeing from my mistress Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, Return to your mistress and submit to her. The angel of the Lord also said to her, I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, So basically, the angel of the Lord is. So this promise actually goes to what the Lord said to Abram about multiplying the offspring. So basically, this is not a new promise. It's just like, I guess Hagar wasn't privy to what happened. Yeah, but that's just brutal. Just like, just like just like a single mom, basically, just in the wilderness was just like a crying little kid. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Behold, you are pregnant and shall bear a son. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So one thing that I learned about the Bible is that when you go from one sentence to the second in a story, the time of the two sentences, that could be like years. Okay? Like it's not like modern stories where it says, like 20 years later, it doesn't do that. It kind of depends on you to put two and two together. So if she's pregnant by the time that she left, that means that she had the son and then gave her the dirty look. Time passed by, drama, right? And then finally, okay, Sarai and Abram get into the big fight. She kicks her out. Well, the meantime, Abram was still shagging Hagar, right? Just trying to reproduce some more, because the first commandment of the Bible is be fruitful and multiply. You're supposed to have a bunch of kids. I'm not saying it. This thing's saying it, right? So by the time that the drama happened, that she fled, not only she had that little kid with her, on top of that, the angel just tells her, by the way, you're pregnant. And I guess that's the reason that the angel went down, is because you're in the wilderness with a little kid trying to raise him. You're a single mother. On top of that, you're pregnant. It's a bad situation. So it said, just go back. Behold, you are pregnant and shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has listened to your affliction. He shall be a wild donkey of a man, his hand against everyone, and everyone's hand against him. That's the story of my life. And he shall dwell over all his kinsmen. Not completely linear. Well, it's not about right. It's not completely linear because it doesn't cover those little gaps. It depends on you, okay, to kind of realize that gap yourself. It's kind of like algebra, right? 1 plus x equals 2. Well, what's the value of x? So you have the result, you have the initial number, you got to make calculations to complete the whole equation. So this is kind of like that. Let me make sure that she's going to have 2 kids and not just one. Hold on. Yeah. And he went to Hagar and she conceived. Which means that Ishmael is the second of Hagar's son. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so he's going to be a wild donkey of a man. Everybody against him. He's against everybody. And he's going to be like, basically alpha male. And he shall dwell over against Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not alpha male. He shall dwell over against all his kingsmen. I thought he said they was gonna rule his kingsmen. No. So basically, this is, you know, a guy that doesn't like anybody and nobody likes him. So she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her. You are a God of seeing. For she said, truly here I have seen him who looks after me. Therefore, the well was called Bir Lahai Roi. It lies between Kadesh and Bered. Okay. So that's the well that she was at. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. So this means that the angel of the Lord came to her, told her, go back, okay, submit to Sarai, which basically is, you know, you got to humble yourself. You got to bite your tongue and your pride, okay, and just go back and submit to Sarai. And because you're pregnant, you can't handle just being out here by yourself, okay. And told her about his son. It was just gonna be like a wild donkey of a man, okay. Nobody likes him, you know, and he doesn't like anybody. And you know, a lot of people equate donkey with dumb, but donkeys are actually smart. What the problem with donkeys is that they're stubborn. So if they don't want to go, they're not gonna go. They're really, you know, they're fighty. Okay, they're like really stubborn, and it's kind of hard to make them do what you want. Not as much as a zebra. Zebras are the worst. Good luck having a zebra do what you want. Okay. Zebras don't get broken. All right. Okay. But donkeys are like, they're good enough for ranch work if you have a ranch, but that's the limit. If they were any more stubborn, they would be a zebra. Yes, it was about who was claiming rulership. A wild donkey was someone who was able to claim kingship. Just like how Jesus rode into Jerusalem with a donkey. Donkey was symbolic for who was king. Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I remember a long time ago I read from like a story from Gilead, I think his name was. And he trained like a small, like, you know, like a small battalion or something, and it, you know, they were cavalry, but it was donkey cavalry. So I figured that in that part of the world, donkeys were more prominent than horses, because, you know, it's you know, things change, and, you know, nowadays you can just, you know, get a horse anywhere in the world, but back then, I thought that, you know, donkeys will be more prominent. And also, you got to remember that there used to be lions in like Europe and the Middle East. You know, you got to think about that, okay? And like they went extinct. I never heard of that donkey cavalry. That's cool. Yeah. I remember it was somewhere. It's in one of the stories of the Bible, you know. Okay, so she goes back, she humbles herself, okay, and finally has the second person, but there's no mention of the name of the first, you know, of the first baby. See? She conceived. Huh. There's a, they're really selective on who they name. Okay, like for example, King of Sodom, which was actually influential in this war, they never gave us his name, but they gave us the name of a bunch of other kings. It's very weird. She fled with the wild king. That's why she fled. So El sent a messenger to call her son Ishmael, very close to Israel. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, guys. So let's see. I'll leave it there. I'll take my little sticky note. Okay, and we'll continue the drama in the Abrams family. Abram family drama, Jerry Springer situation. Okay, very interesting. We learned a lot of things today. We learned about the actual borders of the promised land, okay, which splits Egypt and Iraq by half. And we now know that the pigeon turtles has nothing to do with turtles, but a play on words in Latin because it's called turtur. And turtur is also what you call a turtle. So, and yeah. And I didn't know that Hagar had 2 kids. And now I know. The first kid wasn't important enough, but the second kid, yeah. Very close to Israel. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Beef Squad. Yeah. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you, everybody. After this, I'm probably going to stream Fortnite. Only going to do one mission of Fortnite. After that, we'll see. Maybe I'll do like some other game or something like that. Or, just something else. Not sure, But if I don't see you, don't forget to take care of your business. And I'll see you next time. Have a good Sunday, everybody. Peace out. Have a good day, Beef Squad. Thank you so much. Yeah. The Bible chat is cool. Yeah. Well, I figure I don't like the current church, around here, and I figured it will be more interesting to read the Bible for 1 hour with the homies and like learn some stuff. So, but yeah, I want to do at least one of the Fortnite missions a day. Especially like save the world. So, but we'll see. Let me get some stuff done, and then maybe I'll be back in like 30 minutes or something. So you'll be surprised how the Kabbalah relates to the Bible. Well, I want to get to to all that. I just wanted to, start with like the basic Bible and then work myself from there, because I'm finding out that a lot of people talk about these books, especially the Bible, but they've never read it. They've heard of it, they know like little pieces of it. And I'm like, well, how can you really talk about something you haven't read it? It's like you're going to talk about Lord of the Rings and not read the books, or you're going to talk about, I don't know, Star Wars and not watch the movies. It's just like, it's very weird for such an influential book. And like a whole lot of people haven't read it. They read like little passages when they go to church. And I'm like read the whole thing. Just read it. Anyway. All right. You guys have a great Sunday. Okay. And I'll see you next time. Peace out. Yeah. The same thing with Harry Potter. Yeah. I know.